He told us to sun our private parts, eat raw organs, and screamed, "Liver is king." Now that same guy, Liver King, aka Brian Johnson, publicly challenged Joe Rogan to a fight, got arrested, and maybe headed to jail. Wild sentence, I know. And yes, this is the same guy who used to preach that his only supplements were sunlight and soul. The only thing truly ancestral about his lifestyle now might be a jail cell. This isn't just a fall from grace. It's a testosterone-fueled, ego-driven public meltdown. Here's how the self-styled primal prince of raw liver went full villain and burned everything to the ground. So how did it start? Brian went on social media like he was cutting a WWE entrance and began threatening Joe Rogan. Not podcast trash talk, but literal threats. He announced he was driving to Austin to choke Joe out. He framed it as defending his family, honor, and ancestors. But it came off more like a man hopped up on rage with zero planning. He even admitted he wouldn't train for it. "Don't have a plan. I'm not gonna train," he said, expecting Rogan to just show up to a street fight with no prep. As if Joe Rogan, a trained martial artist, couldn't end that in 30 seconds. As his threats escalated, so did the content. Daily videos grew increasingly unhinged. He ranted about dying for family, spoke about his limbs like relics, and looked frantic. Manic energy, wild eyes, and speech that hopped from inspirational to paranoid. It wasn't just public theater. It read like someone spiraling. Imagine being a kid trying to do homework while your dad livestreams threats to choke a UFC commentator. That's not a role model. That's a walking red flag with abs. This stopped being online bravado when he actually drove to Austin. He checked into the Four Seasons like he was on a spa break, not prepping for criminal charges. Federal and local authorities got involved. FBI and Austin police were alerted. SWAT waited outside his hotel for hours, worried he might be armed and dangerous. Detectives obtained a warrant, located him, arrested him without incident, and transported him to Travis County Jail. And people started wondering if he was high on something. Not had 3 espresso shots high, more like talking to ancient warriors through my bloodstream levels. Creators speculated amphetamines or worse, because his behavior was erratic and dangerously delusional. Even Alex Jones said Liver King looked completely out of his mind when he was arrested. And if Alex Jones tells you to chill, you've officially crossed a line. Brian wasn't only targeting Rogan. He lashed out at other creators. Derek from More Plates, More Date, people nicknamed Johnny Bravo, not the cartoon character, and even Johnny's wife, who had nothing to do with it. The whole thing was less beef and more a social media rampage. Instead of smoothing things over, he filmed himself crying in a truck, camo-clad, thanking God, looking like he'd just crawled out of a prepper bunk. Then things got worse. There's speculation authorities found illegal narcotics when he was arrested, though that hasn't been confirmed. But rewind. He traveled across state lines, made public threats against a national media figure, possibly while impaired, and allegedly with substances in a hotel room. That pattern isn't a misunderstanding. It's a criminal mess waiting to be sorted in court. He's now been charged with a Class B misdemeanor for making a terroristic. Bail was set at $20,000, and he faces conditions including a mental health evaluation, a ban on firearms, and a no-contact order with Joe Rogan. He went from eat raw liver to face real consequences pretty fast. A couple months earlier, Netflix released a documentary about him, and that only deepened the fallout. On camera, he plays the hero in his own origin story. Shirtless, oiled, shouting about 9 ancestral tenets like sacred laws from some caveman deity. He claims he built that body with sun, soil, and soul. The receipts say otherwise. Reporting showed he spent around $11,000 a month on steroids, yet he kept insisting he was natural. He even admitted on record, "Yes, I've done steroids. And yes, I am on steroids." But the damage was done. Emails, receipts, and a physique that made him look more like an action figure than a self-made natural man. His family got pulled into it too. Clips in the doc show kids running up to a bull carcass and slicing it open like it's brunch. If your dad is feeding you raw organs for TikTok, maybe it's time to call Grandma. Worse, his inner circle allegedly encouraged him to keep up the act. Don't confess, just smile and keep going, instead of owning up. Even now, after arrests and exposure, he's still pushing the brand. Posts keep coming. Liver is king. Retreats where people pay thousands to sleep on dirt floors and drink bone broth from horns. It's hard to tell whether he's doubling down on belief or doubling down on an income stream. His apology attempts read like flexing. Before social media, I was rich and anonymous. After social media, I'm still rich, just not anonymous. That kind of line doesn't read as remorse so much as PR damage control. Where does that leave him? His fan base is shrinking, critics are multiplying, and the brand is radioactive. What started as a bizarre persona turned into a sobering spectacle. He could have owned it, rebranded, and moved on. Instead, he doubled down on lies, picked fights with big names, threatened creators, and landed in cuffs. That's not alpha. It's unhinged. So yeah, Liver King didn't just fumble the bag. He set it on fire, filmed it, and uploaded the footage alongside a raw spleen TikTok. He's no longer the face of ancestral living. He's a cautionary tale about what happens when ego, fame, and delusion collide. Right now, the only lineup he's headlining is the dinner lineup in a holding cell. What do you think? PR stunt or full meltdown? Either way, the Liver King's cooked. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.